Next, I'm going to look at the Italian Rapier hilt that we've done. And this back plate here, you can see, creates a situation where you do have almost kind of a basket hilt type structure for this rapier, but it is in a rapier form. It's got the forearms, the sweeps, the back guard, the 4 rings. There's 3 of them on this side, and then the sweep up to the knuckle bow. It has an urn-shaped pommel, and in this particular piece, we are refitting it basically for the customer so that they can use it for practice. The grip was a little bit longer in the original when we were replicating a piece, and he felt it just needed to be a little quicker for using as a sword. So we reduced the distance for the grip slightly so that the pommel again is touching the back of the hand, and then lighten the blade slightly and put a training blade on there. And it feels pretty good. It moves quite quickly. But you can see that hand protection was very important in this period of time. And this is going to be probably that early 1600s, same date that a lot of these other pieces would have been seen. So it would have been contemporary with these types of hilts, not necessarily some later development. And last, I'd like to talk about the Haudegen. You can see, again, a structure that is there to protect the hand. The back face only has this little curl here as protection, but on the outside you do have a knuckle bow and a side bow protecting the back of the hand. Again, quite tight. You do not have a lot of space in here for your hand. It should be built to you in a sense, or just big enough for you to get your hand into. This particular sword has an aspect of one of my favorite things, and I think one of the most overlooked aspects of what a developed good protective guard has, and that's a thumb ring. Thumb rings are a little arc. Sometimes they will be independent from the actual guard itself, just coming off the block and not connecting out here. Other times it'll come here and just kind of seat down. This one in particular is anchored on both sides in the original. You see all those involved in that. And when you place your hand in there, that thumb goes through there, and it is particularly secure, okay? Your thumb there now allows you to rotate that sword through a lot of actions where you're not even using your fingers to control the sword. This can lighten your grip quite a bit, allowing you to have a more dexterous action of the sword. And it really creates a power source for manipulating the blade through space and time in a fight. Thumb rings are a really great advantage, I think, in having on your sword if it's that kind of style of combat you're dealing with. It's particularly nice. This one has some pierced plates. So you can see we have the fancy plates on the rapier here with a few piercings and some decorative lines going through them and some detail on the rings. Here they've put all the detail into these basket style plates with little star shaped piercings right on the plate itself. So very time intensive. You've got a difference in the decorative elements going into this being more time intensive in a sense than some of the other ones, so that maybe the hilt does not take as much to create, but you would spend more time making this hilt because of the decoration on it. Really nice feeling sword, and again, a sword with a fairly particular thinness to the tip because it allows you to really manipulate that sword through space and time quite quickly. This has a slightly pear-shaped pommel with a large nut on there for the peening, and you can see that the arms are now anchored to the pommel via a screw. This is something that starts to evolve over time. All the rest of these, the arms are coming up and just seating at the pommel or just away from it with decorative detail in the case of the rapier. But in this case, they're actually attached to the pommel once it's all constructed. This has a fancy fluted wire wrap grip with Turk's heads. So it's a very nice piece, a high status piece, but a very effective weapon in a fight and something that would be used quite efficiently if you were laying about you to and fro in a pile of enemies. So that's some of the basket hilt structures that we've made as custom items. I thought it might be interesting to look over them and get them all kind of have a little story to tell, as if they were all in the shop at one time, which doesn't happen very often, and thought you guys might be interested in what these things have to tell us. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon.